Hi everybody, it's Brett here from Metropole. Well, is it time to put a regional town on your list of areas to invest in? There's certainly a lot of hype out there at the moment from the media and several property commentators that are supporting the cause. Many suggesting that there's a move away from the big smoke in favour of lifestyle choices, affordability, and there's that working from home phenomenon that's really been brought about by COVID and things like that. So will a regional town outperform a bigger capital city over the longer term? The problem is it's probably an incorrect comparison. We're comparing apples with oranges. We really need to focus and probably, dig a little bit deeper. And a better comparison may be a regional town with a strong performing suburb and a capital city. Then it'll become clear where we invest over the longer term. The problem is many choose to look at the bigger picture when making the decisions. They look at things on face value. A great example is what's happened between Brisbane and Gold Coast over the last decade. Very, very little difference in growth. Brisbane's done about 28% overall. The Gold Coast has done 22% after a disappointing decade. But if you break things down, you understand the fundamentals and you can dig a little deeper, you can find areas that have performed significantly higher. We're talking triple those amounts, particularly in the inner city, good locations in Brisbane. So we start with the fundamentals. We use a top-down approach. We're looking for supply and demand on a macro scale. Fundamentals take decades and decades to change. We're not looking for days on market, median house prices. All of that information hides what's going on below the surface. So in terms of demand, we're looking for things like population growth. Brisbane has two times the population growth on average each year compared to Gold Coast and other regional towns. So those smaller numbers and smaller areas may have a boom and a rise in people's growth, but it really skews the factors and it's not sustainable over the longer term. Whereas capital cities will always have that substantially more growth into the bigger employment hubs. That's a critical factor to understand. The next thing is, supply of land. Areas like Brisbane are landlocked. There's no more land available to be created. Many regional towns have the element of having huge amount of lands and estates still to be developed. Gold Coast is another example where it's starting to become a vertical city as well. Then understanding the economy as well. What pillars are supporting the economy? A lot of regional towns are supported by mining or tourism and don't have any other elements underpinning their economy, and it can be quite risky. Whereas the bigger capital cities have multiple pillars. They have high paying jobs. They have people with good incomes who can afford to pay more for property. And importantly, people who can afford to pay more rent for your particular investment property. So there's significantly more upside and there's much less risk in our capital cities, and that's a real critical factor to understand. Also little micro factors around maybe timing of the market. I know there's a lot of hype at the moment, particularly around the Sunshine and Gold Coast, but in reality, if you're looking at what stage of the cycle they're probably another 12 or 18 months ahead of Brisbane. So no wonder the media are getting a little bit carried away with that short-term data and short-term information. So my advice is take a step back, understand the fundamentals. Don't make long-term decisions based on short-term data. Really understand what's going to happen over the longer term. A lot of people will get the hot spot, become the not spot in the short term. You should be looking to grow your wealth over the longer term, and it's going to be the capital cities where there's huge demand for property, there's more people moving there, there's high-paying jobs, rather than the regional hubs. Now is not the time to change. Thanks for watching.